Um, and I have a special guest today. I'm so excited for you all to meet as we get hooked in. And there we go. She's coming in all the way from back east. Hello, good morning, Aparna. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. Do you have a live video of yourself by chance?
Wait, oh my gosh. Sorry, my camera was
There
off.
you are. Oh, look how beautiful you look.
Good to
Oh,
see you.
great to see you. Yes, I'm excited. I've had some people asking, they can't see us at this time, but I do replays.
Oh,
So
nice.
I'll make
Fantastic.
sure I'll make sure that gets going for us. So, I've been so interested in Ayurvedic medicine. I know this much. Okay, I'll be honest. And I just reached out and I was just so pleased that you wanted to join us. So you're back east now, right? Or
I am, yeah. I'm in Michigan and we had a little bit of snow the last couple of days and it's gorgeous and
wow.
crisp and cold and the sun is shining today.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I want to get started because I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you've got clients, you've got a lot going on. But again, thank you for joining us. And just to take people back, we met, and I believe in Santa Barbara at a gathering for women through Tia Walker, a good friend of ours, correct?
Yes.
Yes, that was a beautiful day.
It was,
It was a
yes.
beautiful day, celebrating, of course, women and their entrepreneurial type ventures that we were all diving into at the time. So, well, let's get started. I looked up something, and first of all, I was so pleased with your website. So easy to bounce around and get to know you and all the goodies that you have available. But there was a line you said, and I just want to reach out before I let you tell your story. Upon you said, "My path is to guide people to release all that is hindering the embodiment of joy, fulfillment, and divinity from within." That's beautiful. So you're trying to not just heal from the outside, but from with inside out, correct?
Yes, yeah, because the inside is what matters the most. And on the inside is our greatest inner treasures. And also on the inside is our greatest pain.
Yes, yes.
So most of us become trapped in the pain of our experiences, of our karmic tendencies, of the old programming. And most of us live and die a whole lifetime of suffering and pain. And joy is this lofty sounding woo woo term or fulfillment. But the reality is that we have pain as part of the human experience. We have suffering as part of the human experience. But underneath all that is the richness of our own being waiting for us to say, oh, here you are, you found me again. And so much of Ayurveda is about that. Is Ayurveda is about not only understanding consciousness on the outside through the intellect, but through the experience of it from within.
Most
There are so
definitely.
many ways to do that. Meditation is one. Caring for the body is another way. Healing our emotional wounds is another way. How we eat, what we eat, why do we even eat, why do we overeat?
Why do we eat them? That's good.
All these things ultimately lead us to a deeper understanding of who am I, why am I here, why do I have these unique tendencies while that person has different tendencies. And what do I do with all of this life's experiences and challenges? And am I only here to suffer?
And so many people do, especially right now. Oh my goodness. I'm really excited because so much of what you're talking about is what I firmly believe. I almost feel like our emotions, that talk box that keeps us stuck, I kind of feel like it gobs up in our body. It gets stuck. And then we just put layers of icky food, whatever, to stay away from the pain. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Nobody enjoys pain, but, and we have these beautiful feedback systems built into every one of us has the same feedback system. My teacher says if you touch a hot flame, the body's feedback system is pain. It tells you don't do that. You're going to burn yourself. When we feel strong emotion, or I should say emotional pain, the inbuilt feedback system is telling us there's some misalignment. Let's look at it. Let's bring it back to alignment. But often we become so identified with the pain and the source of the pain. He did that to me, and she said that to me, and that thing happened to me. So we remain focused on the so called source of our pain, so much so that we miss the meaning behind this pain, the lesson or the wonderful gift behind the pain. And when we get that gift, when we learn it, then we are free of that pain. And we are deserving of being free of that pain. And only we can do it.
Well,
Nobody can do it for us.
you've had quite a life. I read your bio, and it seems that you actually I don't know if you got involved in Ayurvedic, but it seems like you had some deep-rooted stuff growing up, and you went out into the garden and you realized how big a part of nature is in our healing. Can you take us back a little bit about where you were born and what you did? And I know you've worked for the Chopra Center. I mean, there's so much to you that I'm like, which should I do? The oranges, you know?
There
Yeah.
have been times where I've thought, I think I've had 4 lifetimes this time in one. I
What do
feel
you
like
mean? What do you mean by that? 4 lifetimes.
the sheer volume of experiences, and I think many people feel this. Like when I look back to my 20s, I can't relate to her. I can see her, I can see her pain, I can see the challenges that she faced, but I feel like I know her as a friend. I don't see her as me anymore.
Right.
And the me in all of us wants to evolve and become refined. And when we are in a state of unconsciousness, that evolution will come through some kicks in the pants by the universe.
It does.
And I've had many of those, like everyone else. But I would love to talk about my life in India. I was a very quiet child. I don't think I could do anything like this back then. I was very shy. I had one friend, and mm, in India, people don't talk about Ayurveda. They just live that Ayurvedic life.
Mm.
Even to this day, because I do go back to India once a year. I was just there in March, actually, just at the beginning of all this COVID craziness.
Yeah.
And what's so beautiful about India, even though there's a lot of chaos there, is this notion that there's a sacredness to everything. Now, if you go to somebody's house in India and say, tell me about the sacredness of your life, they'll look at you like, what? But it's just something that's done.
Right.
So in that sense, my life was like that. My mother grew most everything we ate. She even grew onions and potatoes and all the different greens and eggplant and green beans. And we had a lot of fruit trees. And uh, my mom herself has had different health issues. So she tried all kinds of things, homeopathy, naturopathy, Ayurveda. And especially when I was sick, I had a lot of digestive issues in my younger days. almost always we went to an Ayurvedic doctor who gave me like the most horrible, bitter tasting things to drink, and but they
Oh,
are straight from plants, nature's medicine. And everything was prepared at home. Like, we rarely ate out, and it's not because we were poor. It was plenty of money. It's just that everything was prepared fresh. We never ate leftovers. Only enough was made for that day's meal.
hmm.
The next day, fresh food was prepared. And I had no idea of how much I would be influenced by all that. And when I was in seventh grade, I went to Sri Lanka by
Oh,
ship from my school. It was a school trip for 10 days or 2 weeks or something like that. And when we were in Sri Lanka, we went to a spice, what was it? The whole land was just, spices were being grown there.
hmm.
A spice plantation,
Oh, okay. Okay.
tea gardens, spice plantations. And I still remember there was some nutmeg fallen on the ground.
Hmm.
And I picked it up. And the skin of the nut, so the nutmeg is like this round spice, like it's like that big. And on the outside of it is this lacy, golden, saffron colored skin.
Hmm.
That's called mace, M-A-C-E. Mace is also used in cooking. It has its own benefits, and the nutmeg itself has its benefits.
Right.
I didn't know what it was. I was just so mesmerized by it. I picked up a few and brought it home and gave it to my mom.
Oh, cute.
I can still remember being at the spice plantation thinking, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Right.
And so, although, I make everything with my hands, I make all these Ayurvedic products, but I also teach cooking. And I used to, as you mentioned earlier, I used to be a chef at the Chopra Center. And I just believe that nature has already given us everything we need for our well-being.
Mm-hmm.
And we continue to loot and rape the earth and cause so much destruction. And she's still here saying, I have everything you need, I have for you. Oh, you were just born this moment? Here's some fresh air and sunlight. And all the food you will need
Mm-hmm.
from nature, I have for you.
Even medicine.
Everything. Yeah.
Medicine. Yeah. Do
And
you think we're so detached? Somehow we humans decided to separate ourselves from the all, the giving. And I'm wondering, when did that happen? Did it happen when agriculture happened and people could start storing food? And I don't know. It's a very strange question. I know I'm reaching out here, but
no, that's okay. It's a great question. It's a question we must all individually contemplate, because the pain of separation, the pain of disconnection is the greatest pain, whether it's from a partner or a child, or the greater disconnection from consciousness and our relationship to nature is the ultimate pain. It is the root cause of all disease.
right.
It's a question we must be in for the well-being of ourselves. My other spiritual teacher says, Mother Nature will be just fine without human beings. She will rejuvenate herself very quickly.
I think so.
But, we could destroy ourselves so quickly. She can rejuvenate herself quickly.
Mm-hmm.
When did it begin? I don't know the answer to that, to be honest. I think it begins with the individual. And quite honestly, we could be in the intellectual exploration of when and why, but we could really employ ourselves right here, right now, in reconnection. And that can happen so quickly for us. Because why? Because it's our deepest yearning. We want it.
Right.
It feels good. It's most natural for us to be in this connection.
It is.
So some ways that we can remain in connection is by aligning ourselves with the rhythms of nature. So waking up when the sun is up, going to bed, and actually sleeping when it's dark,
Yeah.
um, eating according to seasons, really honoring these biorhythms. In Ayurveda, it's said that we are just a microcosm of the whole universe. The entire universe exists in each of us. That may be very grandiose. So, can we at least align ourselves with the sun, moon, and earth? Because that's the closest thing to the universe to us. Because these three planets influence our lives in every single moment from birth to death.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, something very simple we can do is just when we wake up in the morning to just really know that I'm here. Wow, I'm still here.
Right.
And then, you know, giving thanks for the sun, giving thanks to the moon and night, and giving thanks to earth for everything that she gives us:
Right.
air, water, fire, space. Earth itself is our space where we get to inhabit, we get to be in this body here on this earth plane.
You talked about three tools, the breath, which I'm really into lately. I've been practicing a breathing technique every morning that I keep sharing on One Heart. The body, what are you feeding it? And you say consciousness, I think it's the same thing, the heart, you know. Can you tell me why do you use those three tools in your work? Breath, body, consciousness?
Well, we have a body, and as we all know, I mean, I can tell you for myself, if I get a headache, my day is pretty much done because I don't like headaches. I've had them, over the course of my life. I used to get migraines. And so I'm very sensitive to that. Um, when the basic needs of the body is not met, there cannot be spiritual progress. The body is primarily interested in living
Hmm.
and feeling, being healthy and being good. So if we don't nourish the body, or if we malnourish the body by putting the wrong foods in it, or all the other mistakes we make, it's going to cause enough discomfort that we will awaken to it and say, oh my gosh, I have all these aches and pains. I have constipation. I have diarrhea. I have rashes. I'm obese, or I am so skinny that I'm not able to absorb any nutrition. So and I want to also say that the body is consciousness. Body is not just this
Interesting.
thing that we can just say it's just the body. I'm interested in spirituality. That's a mistake that we could make. The body is consciousness. It would not survive if it did not have consciousness.
Interesting. Okay.
Every cell has consciousness flowing through it.
That's what they say. Yeah.
So we want to eat well, move the body. I'm a huge fan of movement: yoga, dance, walking, exercising, whatever works for you. And then, of course, honoring what the body needs in terms of rest. Most
Wow.
people are sleep deprived, and they're exhausted.
They are. And they wonder why their immune system is shot and why they're getting this so-called COVID thing or anything hits them hard and they don't, yeah, it's
It's part of the disconnection. The part of the disconnection is that we think the body is this mechanical thing that's just going to just take care of itself, and I'm just going to go work and clean and pay my bills and drive and commute and eat whatever and whenever and eat while I'm driving. And yes, it can do it for a set amount of time, and after that it just says I can't do this, it's just too much.
mhm,
And so it is giving us these indications of why this isn't working, why that is working, and how much longer it is going to work.
right.
The breath, the breath is how one of the ways that we cultivate prana. Prana is our life
Explain prana. Yeah.
force.
Oh, okay. Life force. Hmm.
Yeah. In India, at least in South India, they don't say so and so died. They'll say, oh, that so and so's prana left the body. You usually hear this in the villages in South India.
Hmm.
That translates to death. If there's no prana, there's no life.
Right.
So we are interested in how breath functions within the body and how the breath influences pranic flow.
Hmm.
We need that life force to be functioning optimally. And there are ways to enhance this flow of prana. Consciousness being the mother of all healing tools. What is consciousness? It is the pure light of the universe that is encased in our hearts.
Mm.
And when we touch it, feel it, sense it, experience it, we can broaden it, we can deepen it, we can expand it. And that consciousness can heal all aspects of our being. Now, it doesn't mean that, I'll never get a disease or that I'll never be sick or I'll never be angry. It means that knowing that I'm consciousness allows me to access it and base my life on that instead of my anger or my headache
Right.
or how much money I have in my bank account or don't have in my bank account.
Especially right now. Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are hurting out there. You know that all three of those are such a big part, and then minding my thoughts, what am I telling myself? But there was something that I've also heard about, and I'll claim that I think I'm a pitta, but can you talk about the doshas and give a little insight to some of the folks that have no idea what those are? And because
Yeah. So, as we discussed a few moments ago, how we are the microcosm of the totality of life,
hmm
these ancient sages and scientists knew or cognized that there are some foundational energies that create life.
hmm
Um, and they are the five great elements. And the elements are space and air, and
okay,
fire, water, and earth.
right,
And they noticed that out in the world, they have unique functions, they govern unique functions. For example, uh, the element of air moves things. If the wind is blowing, the leaves will sway or they'll get blown away. The grass will be moving in the wind.
right,
They realized that a fire can burn something, let's say a wildfire. Pine cones will pop out and get embedded into the earth, and we have new pine trees. So fire has the ability to warm and transform
mm.
something into something else. And it will all make sense in a moment.
Okay,
And water flows
okay,
and it's wet. And earth, unless you're in an earthquake zone, earth is generally stable, solid. I know I can put my feet on the ground, it's gonna be there. It's solid, it's stable. So then they realized, well, how does this work in the human body? Because if the human body is the same as the universe,
hmm.
oh, so air moves, air helps us to breathe. It's the movement of air through the respiratory system.
Sure,
Okay, and space, we have all these little spaces in our body. Inside the skull is space, where all our internal organs, if you take it out, there's just space. The uterus, it has one job, to sustain life. Otherwise, it just goes back to this size and remains here. So space exists within the human body, and air, or the quality of air, which is movement. The characteristic of air is movement. Oh, we need movement. We pee, we poop, we give birth, we menstruate. All that is downward flowing of movement. Then we have prana that circulates through the whole body. That's movement. Then we have digestion. That's movement. Then we have energy that moves upward. That's movement. Then they realized, oh, there's also these different types of pitta energy. So the combination of air and space is known as vata. Vata is considered the queen of doshas because she governs all movement. If you make the queen mad, she could just move energy in all kinds of wrong directions.
No.
And we're just miserable, right? For example, like acid reflux. It is a pitta thing, but who is moving the reflux up?
Oh.
Vata. It should be down here, but she's like, well, I'm a little bit disoriented, so I'm just going to move it up in the wrong direction. So we
I
always
never
take
knew
care of
that. Wow.
Pitta is a combination of fire with a little bit of water, and Pitta has that transformative ability. In the physiology, Pitta digests food. So as I said, the wildfire comes, the pine cone explodes and becomes a pine tree.
Mm.
In the body, we eat a sandwich, and the digestive acids, or the Agni as we call it, digestive fire, says, well, okay, what's the good stuff in here? Let's extract all this good stuff and, build more blood cells and make, whatever, different nutrients. Let's nourish the body. Then we'll send the waste to where it belongs so it can be eliminated. Similarly, we have life experiences we need to digest.
Mm.
Through that terrible trauma, and it keeps coming up. Why does it keep coming up? So I can digest it. Otherwise, I'll be consumed by it. So Pitta has that function of also helping us to digest life. So we need to look at life, food as food through the senses and food through the mouth.
Mm.
And then we have kapha, which is a combination of earth and water.
Okay.
Imagine as a young girl when you made those mud pies, how fun it was, how heavy and wet and like dense it was. That's the energy of kapha.
Mm.
Kapha is responsible for lubricating our joints and all the lubricating fluids in the body, the mucous membranes. It's responsible for our musculature, so that grounded feeling, we're connected to the earth.
Mm.
Even our immunity is governed by kapha.
Mm.
So we can't be ourselves without all of these doshas working in us. All these elements, they are in us in their own unique balance. Everyone is unique. Everyone has the 5 elements, but in different varying degrees. We don't need to get into so much of, oh, am I this or that? We're more interested in where can I bring more harmony and balance? Oh, I have a lot of rashes. I need to bring more cooling to my blood. I need to bring cooling to my emotions and cooling, loving, harmonious experiences. I can consume some foods that are cooling. I can walk by a water body. I can swim. Oh, those are all cooling things. I can practice certain cooling breath techniques. And by the way, we can all meditate because that's really the most foundational spiritual practice, is for all of us to meditate. And I have a meditation course starting in January. It's a 4-week course if anyone's interested.
I'll link everything
Awesome.
below. Yes, that would be wonderful.
So this is how the doshas work. We need all of them, and they work in us in their own unique way based on who we are.
Yeah.
And our main commitment can be to bringing balance every day, returning to balance, little at a time, one step at a time. Ayurveda is a very gentle, nourishing way of life. There's no forcing, pushing, making ourselves do things. It's based on this feels good, so I'm going to do it. I'm
Oh,
going to do it because it makes me feel so nourished. That's why I want to do it.
yeah. Wonderful. Wow. Well, there's so much we could go on forever. I think there was something, let's see, I have a quote again. Whatever you can do or dream you can do, you say, begin it. Begin it. Um, I think my biggest can do, and I've been dreaming of, is giving people access to women in their specific fields of knowledge to look outside of mainstream big pharma for sure and get back to what I'll say is one of your priorities, nature. Um, what do you do as a spiritual counselor? What do you do to reboot yourself in a way, or what do you summon in? That's a new word I'm using. Summon into your life to keep yourself going.
If somebody were to follow my daily life, they might characterize it as she does the same thing every day.
Hmm.
And I do. And the body and the mind loves repetition
Hmm.
and rhythms. For whatever reason, I feel very blessed that I'm able to do that. And it is a choice, so I meditate twice a day. I cook my own food 6 days a week. I what else do I do? There are certain Ayurvedic products that I use to soothe my senses because I know what it does for the prana and I do a lot of talking all day, so I need a lot of support around that. So I drink different herbal teas. I don't drink cold things. I eat seasonally. I definitely have movement every day, like some kind of physical, often yoga.
And you
Um,
dance. You dance too, don't you?
I do, yeah, I do. And I journal. I pray every single day. And, I don't come from a prayer culture, but it's something that I have cultivated, and I find it to be very humbling. Uh, Humility is a beautiful spiritual quality,
Hmm.
you know? It just keeps us so close to the divine and to the divinity within ourselves.
Right.
What else do I do? I My newest thing, what have I summoned, you asked me, is, and this is the perfect time, winter, is just slowing down.
Oh, so good. So good.
And that feels like, oh, okay, whatever, slowing down, but I'm actually doing it. I put my phone away. I have started acrylic painting,
Wow.
and I'm not even good at it, and I don't care. I just do it because it's fun. It feels good. This room, it's a small bedroom. It has like 18 plants. Some of
Mm.
them that are going to be trees one day. I love spending time with my plants. And so I do that every day. I look at all of them. I even have a Mysore jasmine bush growing in my bedroom, which is
Wow.
Mysore is my hometown.
Wow.
Soon I'm
Oh,
going to have a neem tree here, not a full grown tree, but a small little plant that's one day going to be a tree. It's coming. Um,
so plants are important in the home.
they're very important to me, yes. By slowing down, I mean not eating in a rush, not cooking in a rush. All of this is creating energy.
Hmm.
Whether I'm moving slowly or fast, it's creating energy and it's going into whatever I'm doing.
Right.
If I'm racing through making a product, that busy energy is in that product now. If I'm racing through cooking a meal, then I'm eating it. Yeah, it has that kind of that, oh my God, overwhelming energy in it.
Right.
So if I slow down I'm going to have that energy in everything I'm doing. Then there is this notion of, I am doing it. I'm doing everything. Oh my God, I'm so busy. To my teacher led me through this knowing of it is being done.
Mm.
And the freedom that comes with it is being done, instead of poor little me, egoic, having to do everything on my own.
Right.
There's great relief in that. So those are my daily practices, knowing that it's being done. Anyway, ultimately, why are we doing all these things? Why are you doing all these interviews? Why am I talking to people every day, or making products and all of these things? Because there's something in our heart and soul that says, I want to be a contribution to this world.
Mm.
I want to put my stamp of goodness on this world.
Mm-hmm.
What's mine? What do I want to give to this world that gives me everything every day from the moment I was born?
Right.
And so when we cultivate that kind of devotion towards the greater good, clients come and go, you know. I don't know. They're going to go and talk to somebody else about something, and they would have helped somebody else because they did some inner work with me. Same thing with you. We don't know who is going to listen to your interviews and how it's going to impact them. But we know we have that in our hearts, and this is what we bring. In order to bring this, we have to be able to master it to some degree. We have to be an example to some degree.
Right. Right.
So that's my commitment. That's why I do all the things I do.
And plus, it makes you feel
It,
good.
yes,
It
it
does.
feels, and we are here to feel good. We
Mm-hmm.
are really here to feel the amazingness of life, this magical journey that is nourished beyond the understanding of the simple mind.
Right.
And we're looking for somebody to show us, hey, tell me that all this is meaningful. It is meaningful. And if we just slow down enough and connect it to the heart, it's all written there. The story of our journey is written in our hearts. Nothing has ever been a waste. There have been no mistakes.
Wow. Yeah. No
So we need to bring
mistakes.
this gentleness to ourselves.
Most true. Yes, a gentleness. I like that. I like that word, gentleness to ourselves, especially right now. Especially right now. Uh, there is so much division. The way I think that I hear you is that it's coming back centrally first to yourself, and then maybe like the ripple of the stone. As you evolve and become peaceful, people will see that maybe they'll want some of that, just by you being it. Uh, it
Yeah.
it's so interesting. Yeah.
I want to add that we don't need to become peaceful, because we really are peace.
Yes, that's true.
I, and what it is that we haven't been shown where the peace exists.
Right.
It's already inbuilt. And we are just so busy being all these things on the outer level that we've just forgotten to access the inner treasures.
Right.
So we are fully equipped to have a fulfilled life. We just need to work through some of the emotional patterning and the
I think,
pain.
yeah, you brought up the word fear, which I used some months ago about when COVID first appeared, was fear is false evidence appearing real. So you can buy into it and really manifest stress in your body and eat the wrong foods and so forth. But I came up with a new one for love. Life offering vibrational expansion.
Oh, wonderful.
So we've got to remember that, right? It's yeah, yeah,
Yeah, every moment is an invitation to expand into that vibration.
most definitely.
If only we slow down enough to say, oh my gosh, I've had billions of invitations and I'm finally saying yes.
Hmm.
And now I can have the fulfillment. I can be in the love.
That was
because
already there. That was already there.
yes,
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
Okay, I get
I
you.
am I am going to be the expression of that which is already me. It just had some things, some layers in front of it, and I'm going to clean it. I'm going to love what I'm cleaning, and in there is the expression, the authentic expression of my being, which is love. And love has so many facets to it: compassion, forgiveness, presence, devotion, generosity. And when we know that in the fullness of my heart, I have everything, I can give and give and give because I'm giving from that place of fullness, not from the hungry, stingy part of my emotional heart where all my wounds exist. And I measure everything in my emotional heart. Well, did he give me that? He didn't give me that. So I don't know if I want to give him that. And that's where most of us live.
That's so silly. It sounds silly. I'm sorry. I'm laughing because it's true. It is so true. I've seen it over and over.
Yeah, we've all done it. We're all still capable of it. That's only because the emotional heart is still an outer layer of our being, and we're so identified with it. We think that's our real heart. It is one aspect of the heart, one layer of our being, but it's the outer layer of our being. The
Right.
inner heart, the center of the inner heart, is it's rich beyond measure. It's abundant, eternally abundant. It is overflowing with love.
Right.
And when we touch it, we realize, oh my God, I've been living such a stingy life all my life. I didn't even know. So glad I learned this. So glad that I know how to access my spiritual heart where all these treasures await me.
And I've always been. Yeah, I know.
Always been, always will be.
Oh,
Lifetime after lifetime.
absolutely. W- When we here we're ending now, I know you've got to get back to your busy schedule, but where can they find you and what are some of the things you have a line of some products that you make? Can you share with the audience before we leave what
So
you
I
do?
created all these Ayurvedic body products. One, because they're amazing and they feel good, but two, as a first and foremost entry point into self care.
Mm.
Really honoring the body, really honoring where you are right now. And from there, the rest is up to you, how far you want to go. So I do have those for balancing the body, for creating that inner glow, let's just say.
Yeah.
And then I have two websites. I have a website for my spiritual counseling. I have some different services that I offer there: nutritional, Ayurvedic nutritional consulting, lifestyle, and of course the spiritual mentoring. So
It looks like you said you have a meditation coming up in January that people.
yeah.
Yeah, and then it looks like you've got videos for a donation, multiple videos of
uh,
recipes or what was it, meditations it looked like? Some different things.
no, starting in January, those people who practice the heart based meditation will be doing a group
Oh,
meditation. And the donation from that is going to go 100% to charitywater.org.
ooh,
It's a beautiful organization.
ooh, water,
So
yes.
yeah, I want us to feel like, okay, I meditated for me and I gave $10 that went to Charity Water, and they go to some of the most remote parts of the world and dig wells and provide fresh drinking water for people.
Wonderful.
I love supporting them.
So important. Well, as I said to the audience, I am going to put your links below where they can find you. And again, what a joy it has been to talk with you. It's been quite some time.
Yeah.
And I hope you stay snugly warm with your snow. I'm at the beach right now in my rig, so I have a different look here, but I'm keeping up these wonderful interviews. And please stay on the line. And so I'm just going to look in my camera and say, Thank you all for joining us. This is Jolene from WonHeart TV. Please subscribe, stay tuned. I will replay this video once again on the Facebook WonHeart and at my site, and I'll share this video if Aparna wants it so she can share it. Much love to you again for taking the time, and peace, love to you all. Be well with yourselves and start. What did you say? Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Begin it.
Right. Because tomorrow is not guaranteed for any of us. Today, right now, we have it. We have this life.
Right. It's, yeah, so wonderful. So wonderful when you look around. All righty. Thank you all. Stay online just a minute with me as I close down. Bye bye, y'all, on Facebook. See you again.
Thank you, Jolene, so much.
Thank you.